Oh, there are. Oh.
What's that?
I guess people looking for parking spots.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, parking is not an abundance out here.
Yeah.
Busy day.
Yeah. Morning.
Okay.
Not my shot as of right now. Thanks for asking.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Are you Andrew?
Yeah.
I'm Tony. Nice to meet you. Pleasure.
Anybody else need one?
So, yeah. Right.
So I see one mic up here. Any others? Oh, okay. You guys let me know when you're ready. Okay, everybody set? All right. Well, good morning and welcome. Thank you for being here. It's, as you're well aware, that it's an announcement of a narcotics case that has been going on since November of 2016. Also, as you know, major narcotics, heroin and methamphetamine and cocaine still are a major problem in this community and in this country. And our overdose rates, particularly for heroin, seems to be steady and on the increase. So, Sheriff's Narcotics Unit dismantled a extremely large narcotics ring that not only covered San Luis County but also involved, other counties, San Bernardino, Santa Barbara, Ventura counties, Los Angeles counties, and traced all the way back to Mexico. And we had a cell up here that was operating and selling cocaine and methamphetamine. The seizure of approximately 63 pounds of methamphetamine and 3 pounds of heroin, as you see here. In addition, another 28 pounds of cocaine were seized in Los Angeles based on our investigation that led us down to the Los Angeles area. The people arrested are, or the suspects in this case are noted on the board over here. There are 5 outstanding warrants for some of the suspects in the case, and 9 have actually been arrested as indicated on the board. We believe that the seizure of this amount of narcotics is one of our larger cases, particularly in the last 7 or so years. We believe the value of this, what you see here, is approximately $1 million, and the amount seized down in Los Angeles of the cocaine was valued at about $500,000. We were assisted in this investigation by numerous agencies, including members of the Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, the District Attorney's Office here in San Luis Obispo, the Probation Department, CHP, Homeland Security Investigations, LA Impact, which is their narcotics, one of their narcotics units down there, LA County Sheriff's Office, Ventura County Sheriff's Office, and Glendale Police Department throughout this arrest. That is what I have. If you have questions.
So, Sheriff, what was the tipping point for this investigation?
Well, the original arrest came in November of what we believe was the ringleader, Jamie Vega. And after Jamie's arrest, it led to a series of investigations and follow-ups. And what we found is this ring would, as somebody would get arrested, they would get replaced. And so this was not a local organization. It had tentacles all the way down to Mexico, as I indicated.
Any involvement with our criminal street gangs at all, or MS-13, or?
None that have the ties that we had made, no.
And what are we looking at here on the table?
Well, you're looking at heroin on this side, and then a whole lot of methamphetamine on both sides.
And you said this is one of the largest investigations since you've been sheriff, or in department history, or?
Yes, since I've been sheriff, it's one of our larger seizures.
Is this indicative of the current situation in your county and other counties in California?
Yes, I think it is. I think with the passing of Prop 47, we continue to see increase in uses of methamphetamine and heroin in particular. Heroin seems to be one of our main focus points for narcotics in the area. It used to be methamphetamine, and heroin has been making really a play to become really larger than our methamphetamine.
And again, this was cross-border, or did you primarily focus north of the border?
North of the border.
Okay.
In terms of the distribution of the drugs at this drug ring when it was operating, was this pretty much throughout the county, or were you seeing specific activity related to it in specific parts of SLO County?
I would say throughout the county. As we partnered, if you imagine a cell selling drugs, originating out of Mexico, it comes into the country, to California. And that's why we traced it back down to parts of San Bernardino and Los Angeles. That's very typical what we've seen in the past in some of our major investigations. Our focus over the last, at least 5 years has really been on major level importers and dealers. And so when we, see a seizure like this is not, street level type sales. This is distributor sales. So it's coming in and then going out to smaller sellers throughout the county.
Is this connected to any previous sheriff's office investigations, like the Chase Hansen investigation, or any other recently announced?
No.
Okay.
I guess I'll just say this. No, not that we know of, not that we're aware of.
And in terms of the folks that either have warrants or arrested, what were sort of their roles within the group? Were they mainly distributing it? Were they bringing it into the country or in the SLO? What are some of their roles in the ring?
Well, as you can see from some of their locations of where they live, these were predominantly our local people that were participating. But when you look at some of the areas you see, Los Angeles and such, are ties to those other communities where it was passing through and up in our community. But this was the group that was the distributor.
Sheriff, I'm just kind of curious about these major drug busts recently. Does asset forfeiture law come into play here? In other words, is your agency allowed to go, and other agencies who were involved in this case, allowed to go and seize assets and property? Is that still part of the equation?
Yes, it is. Yes, for sales, asset forfeiture is still being used.
So if any of these folks who are suspects in this case, right, they have their day in court, but is that process kind of still involved in these cases? Yeah,
so any large sums of money, anything we can show as a proceed of their illegal activity would be seized and subject to the both criminal process in the sense of going after the conviction, and then the civil asset forfeiture process of actually seizing permanently the asset or money that was seized.
That includes homes and property and stuff, right?
It absolutely could include homes and property.
What happens to that stuff?
Well, it really depends. So I'll say this. So if it's seized in conjunction with cooperation with the federal government, they could actually be the primary seizer of the property, and they would take possession of it. So, for example, if I said a car was seized that was being used to transport this, that car would be taken by the feds to Los Angeles. They would proceed through the federal asset forfeiture process. Once that process was complete, then they would be responsible for either the sale of that vehicle and distribution of those funds, or relinquishing it to the agency. For example, on the federal system, the car can be actually used. In the state system, it'd have to be sold, and just the proceeds given to the law enforcement agencies that participated.
Is this now concluded, or do you think that this is an ongoing investigation?
Well, I'll say that because we still have outstanding suspects, it's not concluded until we have them in custody. It will still be, an active case. But as far as, today was pretty much the disclosure that the case in itself is come to conclusion.
And so now everything's handed over to the district attorney's office in the various jurisdictions?
Correct.
Okay, so You've got LA County, San Bernardino County, Ventura County, and San Luis Obispo County.
Correct.
Okay.
How do you get the dollar values for the drugs that you've got laid out here?
Generally, they're assessed street values. So either, hang on, let me see if I can get some more accurate. Pardon me?
We gave wholesale prices for this. This is not street value.
Oh, this is wholesale value. Okay, wholesale costs.
So that means that that's the value that the supplier down in Mexico or wherever is charging the importer to purchase the drugs then?
No. It would be what they would sell. Say it's a pound of meth. That's about roughly what our guys were paying for a pound of meth. If they're going to break it down, it's going to go to ounces or 8 balls or whatever. We didn't factor that in.
So when you say your guys, so this is when we're making undercover drug buys, that sort of thing?
Well, or what these guys that you're seeing
okay.
Up on the we didn't break it down that far.
So every level it goes down, there's added costs, and as it breaks up. So this is not the street value, the figures you were given.
Sheriff, I just want to ask you one more time, because I think I've been to a few of these with you over the years. Do you feel like your agency has a handle on this situation countywide? Or is this something that you believe is bigger than any law enforcement agency? In other words, you have an incredible team of folks who are out there trying to, keep people safe. Is this just like the tip of the spear, or?
I think what this case told us is that there's always somebody to replace who we arrest and what we seize, and that's the ongoing issue is that this is a lot of drugs that would have been on the street, and is this the only person operating? No, we're quite convinced they're not. And when these people get arrested, there's somebody that's going to fill their shoes because of the value of this product on the street. So it's a continual fight to try to find the next person that has taken their place, and that's where our challenge is every day, and that's kind of why we've gone back to, we want it at this level. We don't want to focus on somebody that's just selling a single bag per se. If we can stop it at a greater level, then we're actually making the community safer. But these cases take a long time. It's a lot of work. Considering we started this in November of 2016, we're talking about months of investigative work, and in order to kind of trace it to as far as we can take it.
So you mentioned the heroin's on the increase, and just visually it looks like a lot methamphetamine, but the dosage size for heroin is much smaller, so it's actually a significant amount of heroin, even though visually it doesn't compare.
Yeah. Good point.
Do you think it's because a lot of these folks are North County? Do you think the problem is more North County than South County, or does it really matter anymore?
I don't think it matters. I think it's all over the county. I mean, you know, they're not going to limit themselves to borders or you know, territories as long as the market's there. And I think the market's all over the county, like every county.
So just to make, all this was picked up during the various arrests that your office made of the suspects who were taken into custody?
Correct.
Okay. And were these in transit then at the time? Were people driving, or were these seized from homes or stash houses?
Combination.
Yeah.
Combination.
Primarily in transport. Good.
Good. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, guys.